because to him, like the hero, you know, it doesn't do too much and seem to do too much in team fights. It's like to him, it's like it's useful in the first 5 to 10 minutes of the game, and then it just really falls off from there. But that's less the case now than it was before.
Yeah, but that's oftentimes also like all you need. Let's say you pick like a greedy mid hero like Invoker, Bane will secure him for sure.
Exactly.
It's basically the perfect 5, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a really strong 5, and if you are lucky enough later on in the game that you can Fiend Script someone for the whole 5 seconds, you can win a team fight for your team. As I said, early on, he's really tanky. He can deal a lot of pure damage, a lot of burst damage early on.
He trades well.
You mentioned Lannon's restricted pool. One of those in that pool includes the Elder Titan, so never a surprise there. And instead of picking the Rubik to stop the Omni,
pick it with him.
Pick it with him.
Took it
Have 2 Omnis.
Took it themselves. Yeah, to kind of.
Wouldn't it be great if you could steal your own spells from your own people?
Well, you can. You pick a Morphling.
That's true. We saw that happen earlier as well. That was pretty cool.
But the Elder Titan Bane, they have a lot of disables across the board, a lot of save for their cores, a lot of lane dominance as well. And Omni is just a staple hero. He offers a lot, a very strong offlane. And you can't really pick too many greedy carry heroes if you're a VG here, because Omni punishes those very severely.
Yeah, and then with the Razor ban, they banned one of their own potential answers to it as well. And then as you mentioned, like, just the bodies on these 2 Vici supports in lane, right? They hit extremely hard. You do not really want to trade with these heroes.
They hit extremely hard, and they have extremely high HP as well.
Right.
Like 700 each, I think.
Now, the Bane even more, obviously, with the sap as well.
You never want to trade against the Bane. It's just the worst feeling in the
world.
Yeah,
like in the past when Bane was picked, not just for like lane bullying, but like there's often some kind of setup. But that's just like the bonus for picking the hero. Like if you end up going with a Mirana, if you end up going with a Kunkka as a roam, it just seems like a bonus at this point. Like
it's just a bonus. Yeah, he just wants to dominate the lane. And Luna Ban's a bit curious.
High attack damage, good attack animation.
Panda. VG right now.
We don't see a huge amount of
Brewmaster is really strong against the Omni Knight because you can dispel the Guardian Angel.
So this is seen as another, like as you said, like another kind of answer to the Omni Knight, right? So in lane, he's particularly annoying. The Drunken Haze, he gives you laning options because you often don't have to protect him. You can leave him in any one-on-one matchup. And like you said, the Dispel also good for that. Also discourages certain other picks like a CK. Things like that. If you're a little bit light on AoE, say from support position, you can make up for it with the spell.
Yeah, it actually does like 3k damage to those illusions. It's a crazy amount. And also Omni Knight, of course, you can just primal split and heal him up into the air for like 8 seconds and then do it again. And that's the only weakness of Omni Knight. If he can't heal you, then he can't heal you.
And the fight's over by the time he's able to contribute anything.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the biggest weakness Omni Knight has, and Panda takes advantage of that perfectly. And they have Elder Titan as well, who can disable him from behind. They have a sleep as well. They have a lot of tools to deal with that Omni Knight.
Too, don't they? Also have a lot of things to steal.
So they go for the Ogre 3rd pick. And Ogre Omni dual lane is...
You're not worried about that too much?
I mean, I think both Bane and Titan, they can kind of fight the Ogre, right? Like head to head. Should be able to.
Yeah, they can trade decently with him.
I'm a bit worried if they dual lane the Ogre Omni off lane. There's not a lot of carries they can pick because they were just punished. It's very hard to dual lane against this. They probably need a tri-lane safe lane if they want to pick a hard carry for Paparazzi like they have been opting to in the last 2 games.
Unless they do go for another lane answer, something like potentially an Ursa. Again, like you don't really. You know, that kind of turns the tide on the lanes.
Yeah.
Gives them more activity early on too. That could present issues if they pick that up.
If they choose to go for a harder carry, they probably want to dodge the lanes again, like they did in the last game against Mineski. And then just roam with the 2 supports and make a lot of space for him. But yeah, Rubik, Omni Knight, Ogre. They need a lot of damage right now. They have a lot of tank abilities, a lot of disables, a lot of like heal and sustain, but they lack severely in the damage department.
So Tiny's not off the board yet. I think that's definitely a possibility. It's got to be considered. There's still a Medusa there. Yeah. Something that, again, like a lot of teams, you know, value more than others. We've seen Secret pick it up quite a bit as well.
Carol Blade. Well, this... You don't want to pick a Tiny into this one. TB completely destroys Tiny. And I really like the VG lineup again. They have a lot of team fight, and what they really missed was a hero that can pressure towers and shove in the lanes, and TB takes care of both of that. Now, Secret will have a pretty rough time to pick a core that's good against both TB and Elder Titan, because Titan is very strong against most carry heroes into the game. What have they been running? They have been running the Tiny a lot. I said this is like not really a good choice here. And have they been running other carries? Well, they've been running the Medusa, but Medusa against TB is also kind of meh.
Seems like it might be a Medusa situation. I haven't seen. I think OD is another possibility.
OD is quite strong, especially with the Repel and Bloodlust. They take care of the problems he has.
Yeah, when they have these type of like raid boss,
they do go for the Tiny
anyway. When they have these kind of like raid boss setups with like the double buff or double heal, like you're gonna want someone like that who does like gigantic amounts of damage.
But they have a lot of good answers against that raid boss. They have Bane as well as Terrorblade. If you stun that guy, he still is gonna die immediately. You can Fiend's Grip him. They have a lot of ways to deal with the Tiny. But then again, if you're repelled and you get Fiend's Grip, you don't really care, because you got the status resistance. It's gonna end after like 2 seconds. The only thing you're really afraid of is the Sunder this game, and the high physical damage output of the Terrorblade.
I agree with you on the value of the Terrorblade pick though, because if you talk about self-sufficient carries, again, with the rotation, he has great kill potential. You can take your tower. You kind of need like a mix of like gap close and wave clear, or like and AoE when you're dealing against him sometimes, and so it feels like that's a bit of a deficiency for Secret. Like, with the exception of Tiny, like they really didn't have much of that to speak of at all.
Yeah, the lane push is gonna be a huge problem for Secret, I think. This TB can push in 2 lanes, and their heroes don't even push out lanes well, like bar the Tiny. But he can only push out 1 lane. He's not a Terrorblade. And then obviously Tiny takes care of the objective, so that's quite good for them. And they need like a space maker now. Either that or a hard carry for CTY, because they've been running Ace on the solo mid Tiny a lot, who then creates a lot of space for CTY to farm. Alright, so CTY Puck. I've never seen Ace play Puck. I'm pretty sure it's a CTY Puck. And he's one of the best Puck players in China. Or at least he was. I haven't seen him play that hero for a long time.
So
maybe you know more about that.
There's the kind of space maker requirements you're talking about. And a hero that's pretty hard for them to kill or lock down. Like, he should have a pretty free game for the most part.
And it's pretty good against both Elder Titan and Bane too. He can cancel the grip, he can stop the stomp from Elder Titan. And not bad against Terrorblade too, if you somehow get into a Dagon Veil. You can burst him down as well. Brewmaster, of course, very afraid of silence. Last pick. Templar Assassin. I think Templar is actually the perfect pick here. It counters both Puck and Tiny. However, the laning phase might be a bit hard, because Ogre in the lane is a hard counter to TA. So they need to secure this TA somehow. So
I think so most likely they'll probably try to match up this TA with the Puck, and they'll probably make sure the Brewmaster is lined up against the Omni Knight if they can, and then just however they move the other supports around to protect mid or to protect Terrorblade wherever it's needed. That's going to be Vici's game plan for this.
Yeah, I really think Vici's draft is very good, because they need to address both the TA and the TB, and they can't be at both lanes, right? So I'll give a little bit of a draft edge to Vici this time, I think.
I'm going to have to agree with that assessment. I think they scale a little bit better, but it's like, can the draft get away with more scaling?
They're very greedy.
Yeah.
They're very greedy for sure. But if they can get away with it, the mid late game will be amazing. If they can't, then they will probably get run over fairly early.
But there isn't really like a super pushing type of component, I feel, to Secret's lineup. I don't feel like they could really try to death ball early to punish that, unless Omni gets a great start. So I'm with VG for game 1.
Okay, all right. I think we have a view here from the expert panel. They firmly believe that the top team so far here at the Perfect World Masters will continue in that vein as they head into the semi-final of the bracket. It's game on as far as Team Secret and Vici Gaming are concerned, which means handing you over to our commentary team for our final series of the night. Toby, Juan, and Malini, it's all yours, boys.
Feeling that hype coming from the panel, as well as the, I say bias.
As well as the crowd.
The crowd! Yes, that's right. We have ourselves a bit of a smoke gank right here. Wait for him to come in later this weekend, however. But Vici Gaming, fantastic draft, well-rounded. Malini, you seem to be a big fan of it as well at the very end.
Oh, I like the draft a lot more. For a lot of reasons. I think the Brewmaster versus the Omni Knight is something that other teams have explored in this tournament and has worked out surprisingly well. yeah, you just Cyclone him, and then what is he going to do? If you repel yourself, he just Cyclones someone else. And you can dispel the GA, which is awesome. And then they have the good lane matchups. Omni Knight might be able to win his lane, but you have the Puck versus the TA, which is definitely TA favored. And you also have all these heavy physical damage dealers versus a Tiny. Like, Tiny it has some armor with Grow, but he's still going to get destroyed. I guess at least you don't get any value from Natural Order. Negative value.
There's an upside. But as you said, like the Grow, like the armor change was in Grow recently, so the movement speed's gone, but you get the 5, 10, 15 armor buff up that comes with that. So maybe that does make him a little bit more sustainable. I was also interested to see how Team Secret would do the laning phase. Jack was mentioning it. Maybe you want to get that Omni Knight up against the Brewmaster. Right now, Team Secret actually have Fada sitting up on the top lane with CTY actually being aggressive to try and steal out bounty runes. Everyone's going to end up trading out to a 2-2 rune situation anyway, so... But this is going to make for a fun laning phase, to say the least. Yaps is already starting his rotation. Puppy's heading down south, so it looks like Team Secret are going to go with standard lanes, and VG are doing exactly the same thing. So nothing out of the ordinary with the very start. And do we actually expect a very passive style of game? Like, you can look for Puppy and Yapsaw to do his rotation. Do you get the same amount out of, like, Lanham, or is Lanham just like the same here? Trade with Puppy, do this dual lane mid that we're used to.
You have to look at the core matchups for that, and in the mid lane we have Puck versus TA, which is the big discrepancy, right? TA scales a lot better. Puck generally just, you know, he can snowball a lot more, whereas TA benefits way more from a passive style where you just farm up Ancients and do Roche if the other team is doing something silly. So I would say that Vici definitely have the late game. I would say Terrorblade is also just like really hard to deal with in the late game, especially with their lineup that does not have significant amounts of AoE. Tree grab does not count.
We don't want that to count, Puppy. He's actually dropping really low here in mid. So much damage on Lanham with a plus 54. It will be enough.
I
Puck
actually
will be able to get a revenge, but
I did not think he was actually going to die from that hit. I was actually very surprised. I was like, okay, it's going to take him like 1 and like a 10th more hit. It looked like he had like 110% HP of one right click, but maybe he rolled a little bit high. Maybe he just got a ton of damage from creeps.
He had plus 52. He literally had double damage. And now Lanham comes back in to do it again.
Back at it. Oh, man.
Toss the phone book at it. And this is a hero who, like, I was wondering too, like, when he got picked up, if it'll all be about, like, the offlane of VG, like, just giving that absolute power to ensure that Ace can't get himself a good start. But instead, he's focusing pretty heavily on just making CTY's life very problematic, but it's really not that bad, is it though? Like, CTY is still 8 for 3 against the 10 for 1. CTY got a kill in return.
It's not to make his life problematic, it's to make the TA's life easy. Because TA versus Ogre is really bad. Like, you can take off all the reflection charges.
They're going to get a revenge. Yapsaw in through the side, pick him up, toss him back over again, and then it's just all about a good club, and Puppy gets his revenge.
So Lanham's doing something that's, you know, generally what you do in this sort of situation. You draw the attention away from the TA, and you put a lot of focus on yourself so that TA can get to level 5, level 6. Once you're level 5, level 6, you're perfectly fine. You can do Ancients super easily, you have traps to help you out, and Elder Titan can catch up easily. He's a support, who cares if he dies early, as long as your TA gets a relatively easy time. And the CS is actually very close in the mid lane for them.
CS actually close all around. Like, there's only Puck who's just slightly ahead of everybody else, but it is very even. This bottom lane, it really is the brawlers. Ace still has 10 stick charges up his sleeve as well as the Avalanche, so he'll return a bit more damage, has a tree up, needs more life. There's the stick charges kicking in, doesn't have the Avalanche back again, going into the tower. Young 11 Mango so he can clamp into the trees. The damage from the tower will be quite high, but not high enough.
Dude, they are just going at it. Like, they do not care about dying towers. They were, this is the Vici I like to see.
Aggressive, in control. I suppose, too, when VG Gaming look at Team Secret, top lane, bit of a pickup. Fenrir, difficult to kill. You do have 2 points up in Purify, so Far's trying to cut his way through a little bit faster. They're not going to get it.
Bane is way too tanky.
Yeah. But when you think about the weakness of Team Secret, everyone knows, obviously, you're missing out mid 1. You've got CTY as that stand-in. And okay, Fada. Oh, actually, he's in trouble. Space created by Yapsaw. Has to put the sleep onto himself. Fada goes for the tree line. Still has that purification. Taking the time to salve up to. Making it sure This metamorphosis of Paparazzi is wasted as much as they can. Yapsor has his clarity cancel, fade bolts, he knows he's dead, but in comes Puppey. If they can get a revenge on a Paparazzi, they'll make it worthwhile, but the stomp from Lanham. Everyone goes to sleep for the moment as Paparazzi runs down south, trying to escape from this gank, but he's salving up into the trees. They need to cancel this. More loose to choose from. Puppey so low, purifications on the Fada, so he can set his ground, do the damage into Paparazzi, but it doesn't work when Fenrir claims a double kill as that Bane picking up the supports of Team Secret's off lane.
That was some great teamwork coming out from Vici, and Paparazzi, sick illusion micro. There's only so many limited things that you can do as a Terrorblade early on in the game, and illusion micro is definitely one of the top things. That's what I like to see from the position ones. Scout out that vision, and that burned Rubik's clarity too. Like he, you know, Yapsor has kind of been hailed as a position 4, but he does demand a lot of farm. Even a lot of small things like that are going to ruin his game. Or have the potential to ruin his game, rather.
Oh, that last point I was getting to before two team fights happened to interrupt me. It's just the fact that Vici Gaming, if they push up the tempo, it breaks the weakness and the synergy of Team Secret's lineup with the stand-in. Done!
Maybe so. Maybe so.
Weakens.
CTY, Puck is actually one that you do need a lot of teamwork, so I can see it this game. Some of the heroes is like, you know,
yeah.
It's a mid player.
Yeah, you can see Puppey's draft trying to get around that
Yeah.
as often as he possibly goes. Like, what do I pick? Medusa and Razor, two heroes very difficult to kill. Morphling, very difficult to kill heroes.
I think it's less so the stand-in factor and more the chaotic factor that CTY brings, because he is a very, very difficult player to read. Movements, item builds, just the way he plays is unlike a lot of other players, I would say.
Well, Team Secret have to read him as much as they possibly can. But for now, the draft, the farming game, 6 minutes in, pretty well balanced. Only 1k the difference. It's just more battles for Yapsor's trying to steal the bounty rune. Fada's nearby, so he can help out here. Just looking for the brain sap, level 2 on it. More support rotating over. Again, Lanham with the spirit stomp. It only catches Fada. The spirit gives a little bit of extra vision for that, but Ori doesn't have the high movement speed as he's still short of his phase boots. So he cannot get up the hill in time. Bottom lane, Brewmaster split is going out. A's trying to survive into the trees. Tick charges once again going to go off. The Brewmaster split. Got another 6 seconds left on it. 6 seconds will be more than enough, and maybe it won't be. Avalanche is up. Yapsor similarly blocking A's, and that'll allow the Rockstar to fly forward. He doesn't have another control here, Yapsor. Finally, Puppey will hit the deck.
Dude, he's balling out of control. 11. Brewmaster, I remember seeing him on the safe lane. He performed pretty well, but this is far better early game than he has had. Yeah, his CS isn't great, but he's killed the Tiny twice without dying, and that is very, very impressive.
He's almost got the same net worth as the TA. Top 3 net worths belong to VG Gaming at the moment.
And he's also forcing the supports to move. They had a TP down to the bottom lane, and now top lane is just not particularly great for Fada. He knows that he's going to be alone for quite some time.
I'm wondering if that's the reason, too, why he was just pressuring the top tower, at least put into the mind of Paparazzi that he can be aggressive, that he is a strong hero.
He brought 10 tangos to lane, so I'm sure he's fine.
Middle lane rotations coming in as Puppey and Lanham get to say hello to each other. Not much should come from this as they're still fighting underneath the tower. It's just the fact that CTY is just so low on life. Fada will end up dying to the top lane, so all that posturing doesn't do a lot. And, well, I didn't say much will come from this mid lane, but Puppey is so low and CTY has no real answer to that kind of aggression.
The momentum has just been crazy. Look at this. They have an ancient stack, too. Look at where... Oh, that's ridiculous. It seems like they've been everywhere on the map, and they've been ancient stacking in the meantime. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's not even just 1, 2. I think that's actually a quad ancient stack in there.
So in the past, like, 2 minutes, they had this massive stack. They took out 2 observer wards. They dewarded everywhere. They killed the Tiny. They're about to kill the Omni, maybe twice. It looks like he's going to die twice here.
Yep. Couple of extra attacks from Paparazzi. One more will do it. His metamorphosis just wore off, however. Is he going to go under the tower? No, he won't. He'll turn around. Yapsor's arrived, and it would have punished Paparazzi pretty heavily if he did dive it.
This is one of the games where, as a support for Secret, you just feel like a firefighter. Like your whole entire side of the map, and all your heroes are just dying, and everyone's screaming for help, and you just need to try and do what you can. But sadly, they just seem like they're a little bit too late.
Love that with, okay, how to actually fight Young 11. Throw him away. Don't deal with it. The Team Secret are looking to fight.
Are they going to get the stack?
3-man smoke up. They're going to look for the opportunity, and what a good time to do it. Yapsaw,
It's too
he doesn't have
late.
the Observer Ward. They need to see up the hill. Maybe they can at least get the pick up on the TA. If they observe on the hillside, it will work. Lanham soaks up the smoke gank. And Ori, well, he's got 2 big black dragons left to farm. That is all.
Yeah,
and they got no one that could farm it there. Secret.
I think they only got experience from like 2 or 3 of the Ancients too. I think if they get the experience, it's still like decent. I mean, 2 dragons, it's all right, but I mean, you're still in a...
2 dragons and a kill. Okay, they got 1 dragon so far. Lanham is coming back in again with his spirit, just trying to cause farther problems.
They did get that sentry ward down.
Dream Coil over on Ori. Hides, now he pops back out, actually hitting with the Mel Strike into CT. Why? He doesn't care if they're the initiators. He wants to go for more. 1 hit into Yapsaw and he loses 1/3 of his life. That wasn't even a refraction buffed up hit.
Those traps do surprising amounts of damage too.
Especially since they got buffed.
Yeah, 250. I don't think I've seen people take the talent, but 200 Psionic Trap talent might be worth considering this game.
The Fiend's Grip's over on Ace. He'll break free. Still has a lot of one-shots up his sleeve. Strength treads morph up, but what does he really do? He tosses. He's just trying to go for the kill onto Bane, realizing he's dead, but the Nightmare! What a situation. Ace will take it off him, tosses the tree, as we'll have a quick pause out by Puppey. But this is escalating quickly.
Yeah,
in favor of VG.
This has been a very hectic 10 minutes. I don't really think that they were expecting Vici to push the pace like this. You know, normally you're like, okay, Terrorblade and TA. Terrorblade relies on Metamorphosis. He had a good 2.5 minutes in between tower sieges. TA, you expect some Ancient stacking. Brewmaster, you know, he's going to get level 6 at some point, maybe 10 minutes into the game, but he has just been on fire. Brewmaster is, are you kidding me, level 9?
Yeah. He's almost level 10 and he's 8 gold away from his blink.
So things are looking bleak for Vici, but Secret, keep in mind, they still do have the Omni Knight. Omni Knight is one of the best team fighters in the game right now, and because of their heavy reliance on physical damage, almost entirely from 2 of their cores, they're not going to be able to do anything during GA if Omni Knight can actually get his spells out. However, the one thing that is concerning is he's going for Hand of Midas. So he wants to play the farm game versus a team that
he's going
is
Hand of
happy
Midas.
to play the farm game.
Brew just finished his Hand of Midas, and there's an extra Tome of Knowledge flying out in the courier. This one's going to go to Lanham, of course, but like his primary counter is the Brewmaster when we're talking like Fada here. Like the Brewmaster is going to get so much experience, so much level progression. Team Secret need to do something to quell this, and there's more than just an ET kill. They need to get something larger, and they're looking for Paparazzi up on the top lane. Ace is coming under the cover of smoke. They're rotating over, and it looks like they're searching for the stacks. There are no stacks. Ever since they dropped that Sentry Ward and contested the Ancients before, the only stacks they were preparing were further to the south, which Ori just farmed, and now has 5.5k gold.
They weren't looking for the stacks. They were looking for the TA.
They didn't find her.
Yeah, the TA was actually farming off to the right, so props to Ori to farming in a very safe place.
And Paparazzi left and pushed bottom lane.
The reason they don't expect the stacks is just because of how active the supports have been. The supports have been showing the majority of the time, so you know they can't be everywhere, and they've been on the map, so they can't have been stacking at the same time.
Trouble. Stomp's coming in. The TA trap slowed him down just enough. They can actually get that sleep off. Yapsaw wants to help out, and all he can do is pick up the Elder Titan, but it's all a little bit too late. He'll end up stealing the Astral Spirit. The Puppey will fall. A tier 1 for a tier 1 tower trade-off on both the top and bot lane.
So Tiny is going to space creating with the Shadow Blade, which is somewhat interesting because he's their main late gamer, which means that if their mid game is poor and Tiny doesn't have any farming items, they will get obliterated. It probably won't even get the late game if their mid game goes poorly. So let's see who can he solo kill with this. Probably, I don't even know.
The Bane doesn't...
I don't think he can kill them. It's going to be close.
If you catch the TA without refraction up, maybe. Lanham having a little bit of trouble, so this will work. When you've got Fada there to help out, now he has enough damage to get through the ET. Meanwhile, Puck, Dream Call on bottom, wants to jump away. Puppey, Fiend's gripped up. Paparazzi will take care of him. Yapsaw was moving over, hoping for a steal of his own, but doesn't find anything. But you'll take anything you can get right now. 1-for-1 trade-off. Just that 1-for-1 trade-off, it's... actually, no, the team fight recap doesn't even tell me how much I need to know. But it should be a little bit more in favor of Secret considering how far behind they are.
Well, Ace got a 270 from killing Lana, and Paparazzi got 185.
There's a double damage rune on Young 11. He needs space. He needs to leave. He's got a Drunken Brawler. That might... No. It won't help him.
Only Refraction would have saved him right there. But I think Ori melded very early on.
And they're keeping the Suns going. Young 11 knows he can just split this out. Now Fenrir in through the rear. Nightmare causing Tigers to switch from one to the other. Brewmaster still holding on. He's got his one charges. Triggers them now. Fortification's done for the Radiant side. Still thinking of fighting. There is no Dream Core to fight with for the moment. And there's your Nightmare once again. Wondering who can really defend this tower when they're caught napping. And Paparazzi's not even there. He's again on bottom lane pushing.
I mean, he's the one farming, and you think that the Brewmaster would maybe not be so involved because he has the Hanamitis, but he already has a Blink. So the advantage that you can take in between him not having the Blink Dagger in terms of his the opportunity cost is just non-existent. There was like very little they can do. And Bane's positioning that fight was also pretty good too. He's like way out in front, and he's just there so that Brewmaster can get his ulti off. He might die, but he's tanky enough that they don't have to worry too much about him.
Yeah. So what does Team Secret really have that can threaten Young 11 before he can get his split off? Like you can do your Avalanche toss, and the silence from Puck was what was causing him problems underneath the tower. And all three of these things hit, and you still brought him down to 20% of his HP.
Yeah, and you have defensive sleep if necessary, which is really, really good here.
Yeah,
I like
sleep.
That.
There's so many abilities burning by Team Secret that he'll have one charges available. Well, they smoke up now. He's got an Invis rune on top of his Blink Dagger.
He's also not scared because he went for damage instead of the health talent.
Well, Nightmare Steal for Rubik.
Very nice smoke pop. Even if he died, it's like, yeah, you know.
Well, he may still do. Drunken Haze thrown out by Young 11. We've seen him want to dive down towers before in the Fiend's Grip from Fenrir. They'll commit anything they've got, mainly because Paparazzi's also here this time. His last attack will be able to reach Yapsaw. Roshan being started up now by the Templar Assassin. Ace and Puppy are pretty nearby.
Yeah, this positioning is pretty good for them. It is nighttime. They don't have vision over here. This could be the play that they need. They need vision.
No jump in though. They need to see inside the pit. The observer board knows they're watching. Here comes the Park and in through the side. Ace with the avalanche toss. Roshan killed by the rain. Who gets the Aegis, the Immortal? Ace actually gets swapped out of life, but Paparazzi snatches the Aegis, the Immortal. Will be the Templar Assassin. They had to try something, but the Sunder kicks in. Ace has no more life to work with. And Puppy is caught on the wrong side of the river. Maybe there can be some revenge. They pick up and throw down on the Brewmaster. He was silenced so he couldn't get the split off. Puppy did eventually die. And the rest of Team Secret are on the run.
Yapsaw actually has traps, which is probably one of the best spells that you can steal as a Rubik. Well, oh no, don't lose traps. No, you had such a good thing going for you, Yapsaw.
He's lost traps, and he's about to lose his tier 1 tower up on top.
This is just a beatdown.
It really is. Let's have a look at that Roche moment again.
This could have been so good, but there was no Aegis pickup. Perfect timing on the Avatos.
You at least get the kill. But where, like, the Aegis, it was trapped underneath Ori?
Yeah, it was.
He couldn't click it without attacking the TA?
He was right on top of it. I'm sure Ace was spam clicking to hell right on top of him.
It's like, man, why didn't I just toss the TA away? I could just throw him away from the Aegis.
Well, that's probably one of those situations where you go into like the showcase view, so you can kind of click on it on the ground easier.
Could you imagine that, like switching to showcase in the middle of such a team fight? Like that.
The things that you do for an Aegis.
Well, if you got it, that fight would have been very different, but for now, it's now VG Gaming with an Aegis the Immortal in the hands of the Templar Assassin. They've got double blinks now on both Brew and TA. And this Terrorblade's getting fatter and fatter. Had the Dragon Lance to start with, but the Manta Style is only 500-ish gold away.
This dual threat is just way too much. And on top of that, I think VG have better late game. Because the Puck is the one that's supposed to be controlling the game right now, but his net worth is, I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not great. He is 2-0, but I think it more worries me that his kills plus assist only add up to 2. Granted, Secret only have 4 kills, but you know they're supposed to be pushing the pace of the game. They're supposed to be running around, getting kills with Tiny, using Dream Core at every opportunity, but they just have not been able to get anything off the ground.
No, they've been trying. They have definitely been trying, but it just doesn't open up for them. As now VG Gaming, they will push down the mid. Paparazzi has his meta style, and he's already queuing up the Skadi.
Look at Fenrir. He's not lured in by the. He's not lured in by the.
And they got
by the patch
courier.
notes.
And they got the bloody courier.
He went a no enfeeble build on Bane. Bane.
Really?
And enfeeble is overrated, heavily overrated in my opinion. Even with the talent, I think it's not great. It depends on what you're up against. I think Tiny like hits very, very hard, so enfeeble is less value. If you're versus like a PA or something, I think enfeeble is extremely good. But in general, I think his other two skills are just way more useful.
VG Gaming are trying to force this mid, thanks to the nice removal of the waves by both Puck as well as the Rubik. Like there's this Feybolt Rift Orb that just makes it very difficult to keep him up. Most of the Metamorphosis has been wasted, so they're going in and doing exactly the same thing again. Oh, Fenrir cancelled it! Thinking he was a little bit worried it would be stolen. Right now it's only Refraction that was stolen, picked up and thrown in very, very deep. Brainsap, damn, he's so tanky. And the Nightmare with the splitter. They've actually got enough space created. The All flies forward. Fenrir, CTY goes after him and claims him. A 1-for-1 trade-off. They still get the tier 2 tower. Top tier 2 tower remains barely alive for VG.
Oh, he got the silent trap damage. He got the trap damage. Nice.
Is this when you start to stack them?
I mean, that's a lot of damage. They're under farmed too, so that thing's gonna hurt.
Can you think about like how much is it? Do you turn this into the new Techie's mind? Like, can you crunch some numbers for me? How much will it be with max traps on one position?
I don't think they stack.
That you can't stack them on top of each other?
Oh, I don't think the damage debuff stacks. That'd be sick, dude.
I know, that's what I was thinking.
I highly doubt it. I'm pretty sure they do not.
Either way, Ori back into more ancient stack farming. He is sitting at 11,000 net worth, 12,000 for Terrorblade. He actually moved off the Skadi. He's going to go for Hurricane Pike, Brewmaster Split, Ace. Yes, the Avalanche try and create a little bit of space, but here comes Ori with his attacks. They dust over on Ace. The Shadow Blade, it won't save him a hell of a lot, but it's enough when Yamsaw can toss back the Spirits, and that will create the space, stopping Fenrir from keeping the chase going. And they'll turn around. They want these kills. The silence onto Fenrir. Puck, silence for, actually stunned up for the moment. Nightmare avoiding damage for Fenrir, but he can't avoid a 5-man lineup of Team Secret. From all sides and angles, they bring down the Bane.
Yeah, Tiny's still very, very difficult to kill. Status resistance on Dust, good luck.
They have to be forcing top now. This almost feels like they're fighting when like Ravage is down. In this case, it's the Brewmaster Split is down. So they can push the tier 2 tower on top.
Yep, and no Aegis anymore, so Vici don't have that threat.
Puppy's on defense duty on the bot lane.
So that's pretty good. They want to fight despite being pretty far behind. However, Vici did not have the Elder Titan there. He was back healing, and TA was extremely low on mana. I don't even think she had mana for a Refraction at that point after she had been done clearing that Ancient. So that's not really a fight that you want to take. You're just going to go in there and die and perhaps chain feed.
Well, as long as she can avoid that, then life will be great. BKB will help to avoid that. Picked up for the TA. You counter push out the top lane a little bit because Team Secret are getting some breathing room. Now that VG Gaming are repairing what's on their side of the tracks, Ace is farming up the bottom, which was the already heavily pushed in lane. Rapidly approaching the end of his SMY as his item of choice. And it's allowing Puck as well. He's got his BT's Blink and Veil for CTY. Trying to be everywhere if possible. And Farder is rapidly approaching his item too, which is the Radiance. And, well, there's the Kaya. Up for CTY.
Kaya's alright. I don't think it puts him in the range where he can instant kill the supports, though. Generally, people prefer Dagon. It's similar price point, and it's also something that you can upgrade. Puck actually has an issue later in the game where you just have too much gold because he has that 420 GPM talent. So you generally want like a little bit more expensive items because you usually already have Blink and Yules for your cheap items. But they don't have any silences in this game. It looks like he doesn't actually feel like he needs the Yules, which is a little surprising to me because that is just considered absolutely core on most Pucks.
He's preparing himself for the rapid fire Dream Call is what he really wants, not the 420 talent. Also denied the tier 2 tower up on top just for style points.
So the net worth for the last couple of minutes has actually been slightly swinging Team Secret's way after winning one fight. So that's pretty good for them. However, I do not think they'll be able to contest the second Roshan coming out from Vici. It's going to come out very, very soon, and Mass BKB is coming out from Vici. So I think that, you know, the charts are going to swing the Secret's way, and it looks pretty hopeful. But you have to consider this next fight with the BKBs and the Aegis, or with just the BKBs, how it is going to go for them.
You're in too deep. CTY is the neighborhood. No, Poppy can really get himself out. This one, and Fenrir. Oh, he's going to get the Fiend's Grip as well. CTY wasn't really sure if he should be involved in this. They were setting up for a gank on bottom.
That's just a really dangerous place. At the same time, you don't really expect an Observer Ward to be there. Even if it were on the high ground, though, on the normal ward spot, he still would have died, but because Vici are in a very offensive position, they can kind of farm wherever they want. You don't expect them to have wards on their side of the map. Yeah. Most of the time when you're in a position, you're like, okay, they have wards on the opposite side of the map. But, you know, Vici are playing it safe. They just want to win every single small fight that they can. They don't really need Vision to win fights.
Yep. In fact, that Vision right now is a defensive one that just, with the illusions as well, can burn through Refraction. No. It doesn't burn through. Like, Ori blinks away, but he's definitely the aggressor out of this. But the Observer Ward and Sentry, like, it watches the bottom like rotation if it does come, but it also keeps an eye on their Ancients. It keeps an eye on the money bank, which is just Vici Gaming's neutrals.
Yeah, and it makes the supports feel safe so that they can, you know, go out on ward or solo defend towers, because that T1 is the last. Is the one on the bottom? Oh, I guess they have that mid. They have that mid tier one. Oh my god,
mid tier 1 up.
That's really detrimental. For
you know what actually made it hilarious is like where Team Secret was getting a lot of that money to catch up in the net worth. It was by taking the top tower, the tier 2, and then VG Gaming backing out of the fight. I guess.
But how do you contest Roche at this point? Like, yeah, you have the shrine, but shrines are
you YOLO it. Like you CTY YOLO it.
I don't think they can take the fight.
No, there's no way they can take the fight. All they can do is just try and deny the Aegis or deny the Roshan kill. That's it.
They're kind of poised to fight right now. The Radiance pick up on Omni Knight will be kind of nice, but still he is very susceptible to just simply being Cyclone for the entire duration of the fight. And it looks like Bane is inside Roche.
BKB,
Ooh,
nice
BKB.
timing there for Ori. He knew. The Avalanche never even able to connect. Quick Sentry was down just in case there's anybody in Viz there.
Nice.
When CTY wants help on bottom, Paparazzi has TP down here to defend the lane. They're really not letting like Team Secret have any of these towers. But it's a smoke gang, 4 men together. And Paparazzi's walking right into it. Yep, so straight pick up, not the illusion. They toss down the tree, they know which one's the real one. And they'll flip him like a pancake.
Ooh, back-to-back smoke. That was clutch. He probably didn't expect the back-to-back smoke. He saw the first one coming, or TA probably caught it on the first one, but the second one they have no idea. And now, Secret are in a pretty decent spot, and looks like Vici are around Roche, but I don't think you can take it with your TV down.
No, not when you're going to lose a hero already. CTY, he came over for the bounty rune. Ori, he's got himself a haste rune. This is so difficult for Puck to escape while the mid's being fought out. The Brewmaster split is there. Maybe they can make some more space. CTY is still on the run, however, through that top lane, but it's in the mid where the Brewmaster Brewlings, they're starting to wear off right now. They'll have to back up with the Earth Ruling 2 seconds before it's gone. Ace has also managed to escape the fight.
He has a gem on 11. That was actually a little bit scary. He didn't bother popping his BKB before the split, but I'm actually surprised they were even like in a remotely offensive position without the Terrorblade. They were pretty far ahead, but things are slipping back slowly but surely. And Fada's build of going super greedy with the Radiance is surely paying off because Vici have not been able to take advantage of it.
Yep.
And this also makes it worth repelling himself in the fights because he can actually do some damage. And the blind miss chance is going to go a long way to help saving his teammates. If you miss that first meld hit, that's such a big loss in damage.
Man, I'm still loving that little play that CTY had.
Which one?
With the CTY and Ori. So while that mid-fight was going on, it was basically a game of cat and mouse with the Puck, as well as the Hasted Templar Assassin. That was all going down on top lane. Now VG Gaming, they're going to smoke up. 5-man in it. They're not going into Roshan, however. They're going to go straight past him and wrap around the side. The circle comes out to say, let's check our own jungle. Fada's the closest. He'll break the smoke with Puppy and the jump in from Young 11. They'll get that silence off. It's that fresh Orchid over on Ori, denying Fada any presence in this fight. And now the nightmare continues for Puppey. But the counter push comes on top lane. CTY is attacking the tier 3 tower. Yamsor will be able to get himself a little bit of distance from Young 11.
I mean, he's just a puck, though.
He is just a puck. Ace is just a tiny as well. Paparazzi already with that Sunder stealing so much life. And Yamsor could do little to nothing to cancel this kind of push. And they're not even caring about Roshan. So the puck added some momentum towards the top. That did bring Lanham back. So he's not part of this fight right now. At the same time, it's Secret who are men's down, and they're about to be more fodder. He's down for the count. Buyback does not help you in this situation when you have none. Ruby's gone as well, pushing into the tier 3 tower. Fortification will delay this pressure, but Vici Gaming so in control of this matchup that it really doesn't matter. This is the slow walk forward. Fiend's Grip from Fenrir controlling Puppey. He'll fall as well. It seems like a hopeless case, mainly because Vici Gaming currently own what is Secrets.
And this is what we talk about a lot with the Omni Knight. Like, do you want to go Greaves and help out your team, or do you want to go Midas Radiance, which would probably be better suited on a lot of different heroes? They have any silence, and you get silence, you're dead. And he just died 2 times in a row due to the Orchid pickup because he's just so fat. And Fada surely expects that he can get Repel off because they have very few stuns.
Yeah.
But yeah, just this Orchid is just...
It was the first reveal of it as well, like it only just flew in, so there's no way he could have prepared for that. And then we transition ourselves forward to the mid push.
Well, he could prepare for it with Greaves. Greaves, you already need armor on your team because look at their lineup. You have TA, you have Elder Titan, and you have Terribly. Like, all physical and a lot of minus armor, so you get... You either get Ghost Scepter or you get a lot of armor and HP to deal with it. But instead, he felt like he needed to carry the game a lot more because you have a puck in the mid lane who wasn't able to really snowball. So he feels like he needs to be the secondary or even third damage source for their team. And it... Yeah, he has the items, but really the damage output compared to any of the other cores is just going to be very minimal.
Yeah. And Puck's got even more defense now with the Lincoln Sphere pickup. Same thing for Team Secret. Their Observer and Sentry Ward placed down by Yapsor was instantly scouted. So all they have to do is bring the Brewmaster over with his gem, and that Observer Ward is gone.
And they just, you know, as soon as they got the BKBs and the gem, I thought it would be very, very hard for Vici to lose. They built, a little bit greedy at the start with the Midas first maybe, but after that, just, full-on team fight items to the point where Secret are going to have a very tough time holding this.
They've actually got a full Bloodthorn as well. There's a 30-minute Bloodthorn on the Templar Assassin on top of everything else that she already has. Paparazzi, while the Aegis Moil is on TA, he's got the cheese. It's not only Sunder, but also that cheese life. Lotus Orb, fresh pickup. For Fada, it's all or nothing right now as Vici Gaming, they come in through the top. A quick silence for the Templar Assassin. CTY doing what he can, but Young 11, he's in the back lines with the Templar Assassin. Yapsor gets to pick up a throwdown. Guardian Angel will buy protection, and Ori really low. But remember, this is the Aegis Immortal. He'll have that trigger, and the cost is too great for Team Secret to defend, and it is impossible to defend. Puppey will call it, and Vici Gaming take game 1 of this winners bracket semi-final.
So Lanham and 11 were certainly the MVPs for me. Lanham just drew so much attention away from the TA so that the